I'm Jessica Long. I'm a 12-time Paralympic gold medalist for the U.S. swim team. And my story is actually pretty unique. What I think is so special about being a Paralympic athlete is everyone has such a unique story. And my story actually starts back in Russia. I was adopted when I was 13 months old to an American couple here in Baltimore. And they had 2 children and they couldn't have any more, so they looked into adoption. And they adopted my brother and I from a Russian orphanage. And then they ended up having 2 more kids, so I'm one of 6 kids. It's crazy. But what I think is really special about them is they wanted to adopt kids with physical disabilities. I was born with fibular hemimelia, which basically means I was missing the fibula bone in both of my lower legs. So when my legs are off, I walk on my knees. But growing up was really hard. You know, I think it was really difficult for me to grasp and to understand, you know, that I didn't have my legs. And along with this, this birth defect came a lot of surgeries, and every time I grew, I had to go in for more operations. And you know, I'm 24 now, and I'm done growing. But there was a time that every 6 months I was heading back in for another surgery, and it's crazy because when I look back now, I can see how that really shaped me and built me into this person that I am today. You know, I couldn't give up. It wasn't even an option to give up. You know, I went into these surgeries and it was really difficult, you know, the recovery time, and every time I walk, I'll always be in some sort of pain. I think it's just inevitable with being a bilateral amputee and standing on my bone. As a little girl, you know, I was just so determined to recover and to get back to being active as soon as possible. And I never felt disabled. Even to this day, I don't really feel like I have a disability. I never wanted my legs to hold me back. And if there was something or an obstacle or, you know, something that I couldn't do, you just learn to adjust. And that's kind of what I've done my whole life. You know, even to this day, all of my life, steps will be probably the hardest thing that I feel like I never get used to steps. But you just find ways to overcome it. And I think as a little girl, there was just moments in my life that, you know, I had to adjust and find a way to do it myself.
Her mindset, just absolutely incredible, infectious attitude every single day. She's extremely strong in her core, lower back. We cut down the volume of her workouts just to make sure we protect those shoulders.
I have this drive and I like to win. You know, I like to be the best that I can be and to train the hardest. And you know, I want to know when I step up on that swimming block that I did everything in my power to win that gold medal.